There we go.
Okay.
Hi. Hi, everybody. I'm with my good friend, Christina Spence. She does high-end hair extensions, and she's super interested in health and hormones, and she wanted to share this information with her people. So I'm going to let Christina take it over from here.
Okay, well, you're going to do most of the talking, but Michelle, I consider her my good friend. She's one of the smartest people I know. I think she's like my health coach too. I mean, she's helped me throughout the years with different stuff. And as of recent, you've been helping me with my hormones, and it's been helping me. It's still ongoing, of course, but tell us what you do and why you do it tell us a little bit about yourself, your background.
Okay, so I'm a health coach and cellu integrative cellular practitioner. This is my 13th year in business, and I got started because I was really frustrated with doctors and they just want to hand you a prescription. They're not really interested in getting to the root cause of your health issues. And so I'm not a licensed practitioner, but I do offer protocols for cellular detoxing and for people to help support hormonal health, blood sugar, any type of inflammatory situation. I help people with autoimmune conditions, thyroid issues. So I basically help people get to the bottom of their health issues, things that doctors don't help them do. So that's in a nutshell, that's what I do.
Love it. So would you consider like most of the people you help like preventative, yeah? Like preventative
Um,
or
no, most of the people I help are actually have issues going on, like thyroid and hormonal, um, blood sugar issues. There, most people, I get a few people here and there that do have extra money and they just are into longevity and preventative stuff. But I mean, that's extra money for people. So usually I get the people that are just frustrated with what's going on with their health.
okay.
Mhm.
So as far as like hormones, like I didn't know anything like about hormones. Like my mom didn't tell me anything. Like I feel like she just kind of cruised through it, didn't really treat it.
Mm.
So for me, like in my 20s, like what should we be doing in our 20s and our 30s to set us up for success in our 40s and 50s?
Yeah, so I think women are getting perimenopausal symptoms earlier now because of toxicity, because their thyroids are out of whack and they don't know it.
Hmm.
So, there's a lot of young women starting in their teens when their period starts and they have heavy periods and they're just being put on the pill. And the pill is going to mask their natural hormone production, and it can cause mood issues and it can cause infertility down the line. Then women get off the birth control in order to try to get pregnant, and then they find they can't get pregnant. So it's really something that young women need to be conscious about it from the get-go. So women that are being put on the pill because they have really heavy periods, they really should go to an integrative doctor, and that because it's probably because they don't have enough progesterone, and it's a problem that could be fixed really easy with just using progesterone like halfway through their cycle. It's not something that you would use every day of the cycle, but what modern medicine does is they're just shutting everything down without looking at the root cause. So part of the problem of the root cause is there's all of these toxic estrogens in the environment, and it's coming through in drinking water,
Mm.
anything you're eating or drinking out of plastic. Um, there's a lot of pesticides and other food additives that mimic estrogens. And so these fake estrogens, they call them xenoestrogens, are starting to screw up women from the get-go. Also, vaccines the HPV vaccine is messing up women's cycle and their thyroids and causing autoimmunity. So women need to be aware of this stuff really early on.
Mm,
So let's say somebody has a normal period and a normal cycle. Um, then they have a couple of kids. A lot of times that's when the issues are triggered. And modern medicine, if they're having issues with their cycle, they just stick them on the pill. They don't
mhm,
figure out what is the root cause.
mhm,
So what I help my clients do is look at their hormones, look at their thyroid, because probably 80% of the time it's thyroid dysfunction. The thyroid is super sensitive to toxicity and all of those things I mentioned, pesticides, vaccines, drinking water with fluoride in it, all of those things are poisoning the thyroid from an early stage.
mhm.
So,
But some of those things are unavoidable, yeah? I mean, how do we
well, so you can supplement with iodine helps to protect the thyroid. Um, Eating clean, knowing what eating clean really means can protect the thyroid and your hormones.
okay.
Not eating out of plastic. You don't want to microwave stuff in plastic. That's terrible for your hormone system, men and women. So being aware of all of the toxicity in the environment is a place to start.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So fast forward like now, so the women in their 20s and 30s, most of them are having babies or, on birth control. Um, and like they can take supplements to kind of help with their hormones and their thyroid and all that, is what you're saying?
They can, but those artificial hormones will still, you're not going to get the kind of results that you want unless you get off those synthetic hormones. And I even find that women that are on IUDs, because it's a foreign object in your
Yeah.
body, that can also trigger autoimmunity. Especially like the copper one, it's a metal
Mm-hmm.
and it can either cause copper imbalances or just having um just that foreign object. The other one is a hormone based one and it's a piece of plastic. And there are just women that are super sensitive to these
Mm-hmm.
having a foreign object in your body and it could just set off your whole immune system. Yeah, I
Yeah,
find a lot of autoimmunity in my clients that doctors never identify.
really. So what should these young women do if they don't want to have 10 babies?
Yeah. Um, well, their husbands can get snipped.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
for
that's
you.
true.
This,
And they can do that time. I think there's like a timing thing that they can do.
they can, the timing, yeah, is really the healthiest thing to do
Yeah. I
because
have a
you
lot of
don't
friends.
want to alter your hormonal production.
Okay. So in my 40s, I was like, I feel great. I feel great. I think my 40s was like the greatest time ever.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that I was eating healthy and I was working out, but I don't know. Like, I was working with Dr. M and he helped me with my health.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what happened right when I turned 50, like everything changed. So, was there anything that I could do during those 10 years that would have helped me now?
Yeah, so in your 40s, you were leading up to menopause.
Hmm.
And so what you were doing was working. And then when that big shift comes where the hormones start dropping, it doesn't matter how healthy you've been eating and exercising. And um, so it's just something that happens. And then you just have to adjust to that shift. So
Okay.
you've got to look at the thyroid, stress. Are you sleeping? Do you need to supplement with hormones? Like most of my clients can, there are over-the-counter bioidentical hormones out there that are
Mm.
available. Uh-oh, there's the snow blowers going outside, I hope. We're having a snowstorm right now.
Really?
Yeah,
It's
finally.
it's raining here in Vegas.
No. Um, but there's a lot of stuff that you can over the counter, like and I have them here to show you. So like one of the things that women will start complaining about vaginal dryness, and this, I don't know how well you can see it. It's there we go.
Yeah.
Ostoderm V by Bezwecken. Has both bioidentical estriol, and progesterone. Use it at night. This will like rehab your vajayjay in no time. It's like $33 and it'll last a couple months. So this is something that I recommend. This one is it's called Peachy
Okay.
Silky Peach Cream. This one, it just has the estriol in it, and you always want to oppose estrogen with progesterone. So it's like 40-ish dollars, and if you use it daily, it's only like a month or two supply. So I don't love it. I just bought it to try it out. I've actually used it on my face, and it like plumps your face.
Wh- I'm
So
getting.
I'd recommend using this is my favorite progesterone cream that I get on all of these I get on Amazon.
Hmm.
Um, Progesterone you only want to use at night. It makes you sleepy, but you always have to oppose estrogen with progesterone. That's why I like this one because it has both of them in it. And people can um, contact me if they want more information about this stuff. But these are just some examples of some over the counter. I have a gal in her 20s that comes to me and she was having heavy periods and she uses this progesterone cream at night. Just like day 12, if you're a woman who still has a period, you want to use progesterone cream at night, like day 12 to day 28 of your cycle.
Hmm.
And it can prevent heavy periods and a lot of cramping and I don't know why doctors just don't prescribe progesterone cream for young women,
I
but
know. I knew, like, we go to the gynecologist, and I I get blood. I used to get blood work, and they would be like, everything is fine, and I felt fine. But now it's like, as you know, I need. And what I like about you is you're like, okay, Christina, these are the vitamins you're going to take, but let's check it in a couple months, and you might need to see a doctor to get medicine. And
mm,
also, you keep it cost effective. So, those are the things I like as
mm,
well, because not a lot of us have access to,
mm-hmm,
all these bioidentical or vitamin stuff. So, that's what I
mm-hmm.
like about you. But I know, like, that's the important thing. Like, at some point, I may need to get medicine.
Yeah, so things that I'll refer people to an integrative doctor are testosterone cream because there's no over-the-counter source for that. I use compounded testosterone cream myself. Thyroid medication. Um, but other than those two things in general, I mean, I'll do people's blood work and I will send them to a doctor if it's something that's outside of the scope of my knowledge.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I try to minimize the cost. I try to reanalyze what people should be taking every few months.
Hmm.
And because your body changes, your body doesn't need the exact same thing. day in and day out, month after month after month.
So how often should we be doing that? Like checking?
I think like every 90 days is good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some people are, do they just feel so great on what they're doing right now? It's like, okay, when you're not feeling great anymore, then let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw results within like a week. And then, but now I'm starting to feel tired again.
Hmm.
Not as bad as it was. So, yeah, I think we're going to check mine again in a couple months, but
Yeah. And that could be stress. It could be winter. Um, I can't remember. We did a couple of things for you about a month and a half ago. I can't
yeah,
remember offhand. I see too many labs.
I have my paper, but I don't have it
Oh,
right here in front of me.
yeah.
Um, but okay, well, like, is there anything else you think, like, can you add anything? Like, um,
Well, I think that if a doctor tells you you have your thyroid is fine, but you have symptoms that are hypothyroid or hyperthyroid, but your doctor says you're fine, you need to look further because most doctors don't do enough labs. There's 5 different lab markers, one, two, three, 6 different lab markers that I like to test for people. And most doctors just do TSH and free T4, and that's not enough to assess how your thyroid is doing. So people can contact me, and I'm happy to share that list of labs. I do offer a complimentary 30-minute consultation for people that have never talked to me before. I have a couple of books that I love to refer to. Um, this guy is Dr. John Lee. He's passed away, but
mm,
he was like the godfather of bioidentical hormones. It's called What Your Doctor May Not Tell You About Menopause. This is a great book. And then his other book, Hormones Made Easy, by the same Dr. John Lee. And then this is a really great book, even though it's got the menopause reset. Her name is Mindy Peltz. And this is a great book for women that also are still having a period because she really lays out what supplements you should take during your cycle. And it's
oh,
not always the same thing. So, like women that have really hard periods and they have a lot of cramping, she will suggest certain supplements like a week before your period, what to take during the week of your period, what to take in the middle of your cycle. A lot of the supplements that she recommends are supplements that I carry in my office. And then the company that makes these supplements have reformulated some of them. So some of them aren't even available, but I have the reformulated version with the different name. So I really like this book because she also talks about like what you should eat during your cycle, if you should fast, because postmenopausal women do really well fasting and doing keto. But if a woman has a cycle still, then you shouldn't be fasting during certain times of your cycle. And so this
mm,
little book, it's easy to read, it's thin, and it just is great information for like a woman, even starting in their 30s and approaching perimenopause and then after menopause. So,
awesome.
yeah. So,
I love that.
yeah.
I have two more questions. Okay.
Okay.
So considering, okay, so the main thing, so in my field, of course, I do hair, I do extensions and color, but
Hmm.
what I see is a lot of women going, they're thinning and
Hmm.
we're gaining weight. Like
Yeah.
those two things at my age, 40s and 50s, well, for me actually, I that's what I'm with my clients, I'm seeing their hair thinning, but with me, I'm seeing my hair thinning and then I'm gaining weight, especially in the mid area.
Hmm.
So is that
Thyroid,
thyroid?
thyroid. Yeah, it's low thyroid, and yes, the hair thinning is 100% thyroid. And then
Okay.
you'll see women where the outer edges of their eyebrows go away. That's also a sign of hypothyroidism.
So I know my thyroid was low. I mean, I'm so new at all this. So what am I
Mhm.
taking for my thyroid to balance that?
I
I
think
mean,
you're taking the metabolic activator with the iodine, and then we're just supporting the methylation with the methylgenic. I'm just going off the top of my head. You're taking something to support testosterone because that was kind of low. And you could be ready due to like get a prescription for testosterone cream if that other stuff isn't helping.
okay.
Um, and what else? You've been doing a probiotic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm just going off the top of my head.
it's okay. I'm just like, it's just so interesting. As far as like the when I do need to see a doctor, like I know some people think there's a cancer risk with some of those medications and our
Yeah.
hormones. Like, what is that about?
Okay, so those studies are all based on synthetic hormones. And so they don't have the ones that the doctors look at, they're not looking at the studies which are paid for privately because it's the pharmacy companies, big pharma, that's paying for the studies with the synthetic hormones. So it's the synthetic hormones that actually cause the cancer. And if you've had cancer, you shouldn't be on those synthetic hormones. But they are not finding that the bioidentical hormones contribute to cancer or a recurrence of cancer in people that have had those like ovarian or breast cancer,
Okay.
uterine cancer. And I
So,
feel bad. We have a friend who had uterine cancer couple years ago and went through treatment, and it put her in straight into menopause, and she's so uncomfortable, and they won't give her any. She's on like a antidepressant in
oh
order to counteract the menopausal symptoms,
my God.
but yeah, they won't let her touch any kind of hormones, bioidentical or not. And because she's in the Western medicine system, they've
Hmm.
scared her into that. I mean, I would be like, I'm doing this over the counter stuff.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So she's suffering basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. Okay. Well,
So, yeah.
um,
And they did, this guy, he does talk about those studies. I think in this one. And so this book is pretty old. I mean, this guy's been around for a long time. But he literally is the godfather of bioidentical hormones. 2004, 2000, 1996 was
wow.
the first version of this book. So, I mean, he was really ahead of his time.
Yeah, that's a big book. Can I
Yeah.
just
This
ask you?
one's more intimidating to read.
Yeah.
It's got, but I like it for me, for my
Yeah,
references.
for sure.
But this one's a little easier, but still, I think if you're not a practitioner, it's still a little intimidating, even though, but it's more basic. Um,
Okay.
yeah, but I think that's a good book too.
I think I'm gonna get that third book.
The menopause reset.
Yeah, just so
Yeah,
I can, because I mean, I'm 50. I still have a
yeah,
period, but I want to educate myself more
yeah,
just so I can feel better. And
yeah.
I know exercise, diet, all that plays a role as well. And yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. And
So
yeah,
Mindy does podcasts. She has a lot of great information. And then she talks about her story. She actually went into menopause early, and she's a chiropractor,
Mm.
and she was just she talks about her story in the book about how she was always running around and she had a practice and she had kids and a husband, and then she was always so active, and all of a sudden she couldn't do anything. She couldn't get out of bed, and doctors didn't have any answers for her, and so she had to figure it out for herself.
Is that Mindy? Does she promote fasting? Is that the same?
Yes, yeah, she's really big on fasting.
Yeah.
You may have heard of her before,
Yeah. I've
and it
listened to some of
helps.
her podcasts. Yeah.
Yeah. She has
Um,
she has a book, Fast Like a Girl, and yeah,
yeah.
she's got a ton of really good information.
Yeah. I don't know about fasting. I mean, for me, actually,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
think
think,
there's a time for it. And
yeah.
so I think that if you read her book, you'll understand like when is optimal time to fast. It's not like all fasting all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So yeah,
Thanks.
I hope it's been
So,
helpful.
oh my gosh, so good. Like I am so like into this right now. 50 Club.
Yeah. Well, if anybody wants to get a hold of me, I am at michellesala.com,
Hmm.
and I've got links to set an appointment
Yeah.
to meet with me, and I'm available by Zoom, by phone, and in person. I'm in South Jordan, Utah, but I have clients all over the United States.
Yeah, I talk about you all the time.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
And
it.
I will put all your information in my post here that I
Great.
post.
Okay.
Thanks, Michelle. Thank you for your
Yeah.
time.
Thank
Seriously.
you. Let me
Yeah.
just unrecord it for a second.